Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be discussing about defect life cycle. So what is a defect? Defects are events that occurs during test execution and requires investigation. When you report discrepancy between the actual and expected results, then it is called incidents or defects. Incidents can be a defect in the functionality of the application or a defect in a code, a failure in the test environment, or a mistake in the execution of testing activities. Some defects may have a minor impact on the functionality of the application, whereas others may cause the application to crash or freeze. We need to analyze the defects to get details or cause of the defect and report additional information about it. This will help in finding solution to fix the problem. In order to manage all defects to completion, you need to follow a process and rules for the classification of defects. Defect lifecycle is a journey of defect from its identification to its closure. We shall look into a defect life cycle. Now, these are the most common states of defects, but it can vary from industry to industry. New. Once you log any defect and it is verified by a QA lead or a test lead, then the defect is valid. Its status is changed to new. This means the defect is logged, but it is not yet approved. Open. In this stage, the test lead approves the defect and makes it an open defect. Assigned. In this stage, test leads assign the open defects to the corresponding developers and the status of the defect is changed to assigned. The developers can mark the defect as rejected if the system is working according to the required specifications and if the defect was logged due to some misinterpretations. In some cases, the developer may defer the defect to be fixed for future releases. This could be due to low priority of the defect or due to lack of time for the release of the software application. In such cases, the state of the defect is marked as deferred. Resolved. In this stage, the developer who is assigned to fix the defect makes necessary changes in the code and verifies the changes. After fixing the defect, developer changes the status of the defect as resolved and passes to the test team for retesting. Verified. In this stage, software tester tests the defects. If the defect is fixed and the functionality is working as expected, it is approved to be fixed and the status of the defect is changed to verified. However, after retesting, if the tester finds that the defect is not resolved, then the status is changed to reopened and is sent back to the developer to take appropriate actions. Closed. In this stage, the software tester marks the defect as closed after it is verified and its resolution is considered as appropriate. It is important to educate the defect life cycle to the team. Also make sure that the defect life cycle that you follow is well documented. Ensure that each individual clearly understands his or her responsibility as regards to each defect. Ensure that enough detail is entered in each status change. For example, do not simply drop a defect but provide a reason for doing so. Defect tracking is an important process in software. Defect tracking can be tedious, Yet comparing track defects can also help testers to improve their work. Few of the best practices that you should keep in mind while reporting defects are information capture. Defect tracking must be simple enough so that people will use it, but it cannot be oversimplified because it must capture vital information about the problem. For example, determine what information is needed on description, products, and screenshots. Information should be added as the issue moves through its life cycle. Simple is always better when it comes to using the application, but make sure that the information needed to reproduce a defect is always tracked. Communication. An open line of back and forth communication can facilitate constructive dialogue between who reported the defect and who is responsible for fixing it. Environment. Some defects only exist in some specific environment. To provide thorough testing, the QA team must identify and test all possible hardware or software combinations. Reduce ambiguity with screenshots. Attach screenshots of failures to reduce ambiguity and confusion. A screenshot can simplify the defect reporting process. Screenshots can be especially useful when team members do not speak the same language. Avoid duplicate defects. One defect report is helpful. 10 reports about the same defect are not. To minimize duplication, users should query the defect database prior to submitting a defect. Make sure you run few simple queries in the database to determine if the defect already exists. By avoiding duplication, users will not spend unnecessary time researching defects that have already been fixed or which have already been deferred. Many people write an essay while reporting a bug, and few report a defect with single-line description which effectively communicate the exact defect. Taking effort for writing simple and efficient defect not only saves the team's time but also creates a good relationship between the developers and the QA team. I hope you have understood what a defect lifecycle is. If you have liked this video, please do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Until next video, happy testing!